Imagine standing in the eye of a storm, wind whipping dust into your face, leaves swirling around your feet, thunder rumbling in the distance. The chaos rages all around you. Yet you stand unmoved, calm at the center, your heart steady and your mind clear. This image of serene strength isn't reserved for ancient myths or distant heroes. It is the very essence of Stoic wisdom applied to our modern struggles. In our daily lives, we encounter individuals whose words sting like arrows, whose presence feels like an oncoming gale. These toxic personalities test our resolve, challenge our peace, and threaten to unbalance the equilibrium we work so hard to maintain. But what if you could turn their storms into mere wind, dispersing their impact and preserving your inner calm? What if composure could become your armor, impervious to their barbs? In this script, we will dive into the heart of Stoic philosophy to discover how to maintain your composure around toxic individuals, transforming adversity into strength and chaos into clarity. Before we arm ourselves with Stoic principles, we must identify the enemy. Toxic individuals come in many forms. They may be the colleague who subtly undermines your achievements, the friend who constantly complains without seeking solutions, or the family member whose criticism feels like a persistent drip wearing down your defenses. Their tactics vary: manipulation, passive aggression, blame shifting, and gaslighting. Yet beneath these tactics lies a common thread: an unsettling attempt to control, to provoke, to destabilize. Recognizing toxic behavior is your first victory. When you name it, you strip it of its power. You change from a victim buffeted by invisible currents to a captain charting your course. Central to Stoicism is the dichotomy of control. The Stoics taught that some things are within our power: our judgments, our intentions, our desires. Everything else, from the actions of others to the weather, is outside our power. Toxic behavior belongs to that latter category. You cannot control another's words or deeds. You can only control your reaction to them. This simple yet profound insight frees you from the crippling illusion that you can somehow prevent toxicity by pleading, arguing, or seeking validation. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher emperor, wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Here, strength is not muscle and might, but the resolute calm of a mind that refuses to be governed by external turbulence. When faced with toxic individuals, you step back and remind yourself, their poison cannot touch me unless I accept it. In that moment of awareness, you reclaim your agency. Technique 1. Pause and observe. The moment a toxic word crashes into your awareness, imagine a thunderclap echoing through the halls of your mind. In that instant, your instincts demand retaliation: sharp words, a fiery rebuttal, anything to silence the storm. But here, in this heartbeat of terror and adrenaline, lies your greatest opportunity. Pause, observe, draw in a deep, deliberate breath. Feel your diaphragm expand, your chest rise. Let the air fill every corner of your lungs, then release slowly, deliberately, as if you are exhaling the very tension that courses through your body. This simple act, repeated 3 times, is an act of rebellion against chaos. Each breath draws you back from the precipice of reaction, planting both feet firmly in the ground of reason. As you stand in this momentary refuge, become a scientist of your inner world. Notice the heat in your cheeks, the tightening of your jaw, the rapid drumbeat of your pulse. Focus not on what the other person said, but on what their words have awakened within you. Name every sensation: hot, tense, irritable. Name the emotions surfacing: anger, fear, shame. Speak them aloud in your mind with the calm certainty of a commander issuing orders. This labeling robs those feelings of their raw, uncontrollable power and tames them under the rule of your conscious self. Pause again. Let another breath carry you deeper into observation. Ask yourself, why does this trigger me? Which belief have I let them press against? Perhaps you feel disrespected, belittled, or unworthy. By shining the spotlight of your attention on these hidden vulnerabilities, you uproot them, weaken their hold, and reveal their nature: mere judgments, not absolutes. In this space of mindful neutrality, remember that you are not an automaton compelled to react. You are an artisan of response, forging each action with intention and virtue. The more you linger here, breathing, sensing, labeling them more your primitive impulses recede. You stand not as prey before a predator, but as a pillar of unshakable. Calmed out finally when you sense the tempest within abate just enough. Make your choice. Will you speak? Will you walk away? Whatever your decision, let it emerge from this place of clarity rather than the heat of the moment. If you talk, do so deliberately, each word a testament to your mastery over yourself. If you leave, do so with dignity, chest lifted, mind unclouded, unwavering even as their storm rages behind you. This is no passive submission, but an active demonstration of strength. By pausing and observing, you transform the raw energy of toxic provocation into a measured strategy, a stoic maneuver that disarms the attack and charts a course back to your center. In mastering the space between stimulus and response, you claim your sovereignty over mind and heart, and no toxic word can ever unsettle you again. Technique 2. Reframe the narrative. Words wield power only if you allow them to define your reality. Toxic individuals aim to script your story with lines of self-doubt, painting you as incompetent, unworthy, or weak, yet you are the author of your narrative. Refuse to accept their plot twists. Instead, lift your gaze and observe their behavior as a projection of their inner turmoil. Imagine their words as shattered mirror shards, reflections not of your face, but of their fear and pain. Hear their insults as cries for validation. See their condemning tone as a plea to be understood. When someone degrades you, picture a wounded soul clad in armor of blame, attacking to hide a wound that refuses to heal. In that moment, empathy becomes your shield, turning hostility into sorrow for their suffering rather than a verdict on your value. You do not condone their behavior, but you choose not to internalize their poison. Then rewrite the scene. Replace their false narrative with the truth of your self-worth. If they say you're incompetent, affirm the countless challenges you've overcome. Recall moments when you surpassed expectations and accomplished what once seemed impossible. If they question your integrity, remind yourself of the times you acted with unwavering honesty, even when it cost you comfort. Speak your own story silently, stronger, wiser, more resilient than their distortions allow. This reframing is not passive acceptance, it is strategic resistance. It demands that you confront the lens through which you view events. Toxic remarks are data points, not destiny. Ask yourself, what can I learn here? Perhaps their criticism highlights a blind spot in your communication style, or perhaps it simply signals their inability to bear witness to your strength. Either way, the power of interpretation lies in your hands. Stand firm in this reframed reality. Let each toxic jibe dissolve like foam on the shore, remembered but not relived. When anger rises, remind yourself, these are their perceptions, not your truth. When doubt creeps in, counter it with concrete evidence of your capabilities. Keep a mental ledger of personal victories, no matter how small, and revisit it when negativity threatens to overshadow your confidence. By reframing the narrative, you convert toxic energy into fuel for growth. You transform confrontations into lessons and barbs into stepping stones toward greater self-awareness. Empathy softens the blow of hostility, while self-affirmation fortifies your spirit. In this process, every encounter with toxicity becomes an arena where you sharpen your insight, test your resilience, and reaffirm your sovereignty over the story of your life. Technique 3. Set unyielding boundaries. Calmness does not mean submission, it is the roar of your conviction, the ironclad declaration of your self-worth. Toxic people excel at crossing lines, stepping past respect, and invading your mental space. But you are the gatekeeper of your inner citadel. To maintain composure, you must erect walls of unyielding boundaries, not as impenetrable barriers of isolation, but as defined limits that safeguard your peace. Begin by discerning what you will accept and what you will not. A boundary is a statement of values made tangible. I will not engage when spoken to condescendingly. I will not tolerate gossip that demeans me. I reserve the right to pause or end any conversation that feels manipulative. Speak these limits with quiet authority. There is power in calm words delivered firmly. When you articulate your boundary, you cast a line in the sand. An attack here will no longer pass. Enforcing boundaries demands consistency. When a toxic colleague corners you for an unruly critique, you gently but firmly stand your Ground high. Hear your concerns, but I will respond when we can discuss this respectfully. Then act by your words. If they continue, you turn away, divert the conversation, or excuse yourself. Every time you uphold a boundary, you reinforce your inner sovereignty. The world learns your limits, and your mind, observing your steadfastness, grows confident in your authority. Boundaries can extend beyond words into actions. If a friend's tirades bleed into your time, mute messages during your off hours. If a family member's criticism resurfaces at gatherings, choose a different setting or limit the duration of visits. These actions carry no malice. They are strategic moves in the game of self-preservation. You are not punishing, you are protecting. Your tranquility depends on it. Remember Epictetus, focus on what is up to you. You cannot control the toxic individual's agenda, but you control your response. When you distance yourself, you reclaim energy otherwise lost in emotional skirmishes. Boundaries do not isolate you from humanity. They cultivate relationships grounded in mutual respect. Those who honor your limits become allies in your pursuit of virtue. Those who trample them reveal their unsuitability for your inner circle. Yet, setting boundaries can stir discomfort, guilt, second-guessing, and fear of conflict. Lean into these feelings as signs you are forging new neural pathways of assertiveness. Breathe into the unease, acknowledge its presence, then reaffirm, I deserve respect. I deserve calm. Each act of boundary enforcement is a triumph of self-respect over social fear. With every boundary asserted, your composure strengthens because you stand on the unshakable foundation of your principles. In the silence that follows a boundary, you will feel the shift. The toxic voice recedes, replaced by the quiet hum of your integrity. This moment is your victory lap, a testament to your courage and your commitment to peace. You have drawn a line, you have held it, and in doing so, you have affirmed that no external force can breach the fortress of your composure. Through unyielding boundaries, you transform every interaction into an arena where respect is non-negotiable. Your calm becomes contagious. Those who approach you learn quickly that dignity is the currency of conversation. And if someone refuses to trade in dignity, you need not chase them, they simply fade into irrelevance, unable to cross the threshold you protect. Technique 4. Cultivate inner fortitude through reflection. Every day presents a new battlefield of thoughts and emotions. Without the steel of inner fortitude, your composure can crumble under relentless toxicity. The Stoics understood this and committed to regular reflection as the forge where resilience is tempered. At twilight, carve out a sacred moment of solitude. No screens, no distractions. Just you and a pen gliding over paper. Start by recounting your encounters with toxic individuals. Describe the scene, the words spoken, the tone used, your immediate reaction. Did your chest tighten? Did frustration flare? Detail each physical sensation and emotional spark. This is not self-punishment. It is reconnaissance. By mapping the terrain of your responses, you begin to see patterns, traps where you stumble, triggers that crack your defenses. Awareness is the first weapon in your arsenal. Next, interrogate those patterns with the precision of a philosopher. Ask, why did this moment wound me? Which core belief felt under siege? Perhaps a comment about your competence hit a nerve because you secretly fear failure. Or maybe a harsh tone felt like rejection because you've learned in the past that to be criticized is to be unloved. Bring these hidden convictions into the light. As you shine the torch of reason on them, their power diminishes. Then, pivot your reflection toward the Stoic virtues. Wisdom. Did you see the situation clearly, without confounding facts and judgments? Justice. Did you act fairly, respecting both yourself and the other person's dignity? Courage. Did you stand firm in your principles, or did fear sway you to silence? Temperance. Did you maintain balance, neither succumbing to rage nor bottling up all emotion? Evaluate your words and actions against these 4 pillars. Celebrate where you aligned with virtue. Pinpoint where you fell short, but don't stop. At analysis, transform insight into strategy. For each shortcoming, craft a plan for tomorrow. If you noticed your anger erupted too quickly, resolve to practice a 5-second pause before responding. If you shrank from asserting a boundary, commit to rehearsing the words you'll use to uphold it. Record these commitments in writing. The act of documenting your resolutions cements them in your mind. and sets a clear roadmap for growth. Finally, close your reflection with gratitude. Yes, gratitude even toward the toxic individuals. Their provocations become unlikely teachers, compelling you to deepen your self-understanding and strengthen your composure. Write down at least one lesson gleaned. Perhaps you learned how quickly you assume blame or how powerful a calm response can be. By acknowledging the gift within the adversity, you transmute bitterness into purpose. Through this nightly ritual, you forge your character like a sword in the heat of a forge, hammering out weaknesses, sharpening strengths, and cooling in the wisdom of experience. Over time, your journal becomes a chronicle of transformation, a testament to your growing mastery over mind and heart. When toxic storms approach, you carry the invisible armor of past reflections, knowing you've faced down inner turmoil before and emerged stronger. In the arena of life, inner fortitude is your unspoken vow that no matter how fierce the gale, your spirit remains unbowed. Each reflection hammers this vow deeper, building a fortress of resilience that stands firm long after individual battles end. Technique 5. Anchor in purpose and virtue. At the core of your composure lies an unwavering compass, your purpose, anchored in the Stoic virtues of wisdom, justice, courage, and temperance. In the swirling chaos of toxic behavior, these virtues stand like steadfast lighthouses, illuminating your path and preventing you from drifting into reactive emotion. Begin by clarifying your purpose. What drives you at your deepest level? Perhaps it is to cultivate meaningful relationships built on respect, to pursue excellence in your craft, or to serve others with integrity. Whatever your aim, write it down in concrete terms. The statement of purpose becomes your North Star, visible even when storm clouds obscure the horizon. Next, bind each Stoic virtue to your purpose. Wisdom guides you to perceive situations accurately, free from distortion. When provoked by toxic remarks, wisdom asks, what is the real issue beneath the surface? Justice compels you to act fairly, to speak the truth without malice, and to uphold the dignity of all parties, including yourself. Courage empowers you to confront toxicity head-on, even when your heart pounds and your voice trembles. Temperance teaches moderation, to regulate your impulses, checking anger with reason and resentment with forgiveness. In moments of provocation, pause and recall your purpose statement. Let it echo in your mind. I seek to build trust through respect. This proclamation frames your response not as retaliation, but as alignment with your highest ideals. You no longer react to the toxic jabs, you respond from the vantage point of your mission. Imagine a sculptor chiseling away at a block of marble. Each strike must be deliberate, guided by the vision of the statue within. Your purpose and virtues serve as that vision. Without them, each reaction to toxicity becomes a haphazard blow, risking damage to your moral sculpture. But with a clear image of who you want to be, each response is a precise cut, refining your character and revealing the strength beneath. To deepen this anchoring, create a personal motto, a phrase that distills your purpose and virtues into a single line. It could be as simple as integrity first, harmony through wisdom, or courage in every moment. Memorize this line and repeat it silently whenever tension rises. Let it roll off your mental tongue like a mantra, realigning your focus from the provocateur's agenda to your own. Then, take practical steps to embody your purpose daily. If justice guides you, seek out small acts of fairness, listen without interrupting, give credit generously, and forgive minor transgressions. If wisdom is your beacon, cultivate it through reading, reflection, and honest feedback. If courage is your charge, volunteer for challenges that stretch your comfort zone. If temperance is your goal, practice moderation in speech, thought, and action. Savor the present without being consumed by it. When toxic individuals attempt to derail you, they inadvertently offer you an opportunity to live out your purpose in real time. Their negativity becomes a test of your commitment. Will you rise above pettiness to uphold fairness? Will you remain calm when fear whispers in your ear? Will you choose reason over revenge? Each decision affirms your dedication to the virtues that shape your identity. Over time, this anchoring transforms your inner landscape. Your purpose-driven composure radiates outward, influencing how others engage with you. Colleagues note your measured tone, Friends appreciate your steadfast empathy, and even adversaries may pause, recognizing your integrity as a force that defies manipulation. Ultimately, anchoring in purpose and virtue makes composure more than a tactic. It becomes a way of life. No matter the toxic assault, you stand rooted in something greater than the moment's tumult. This ground of purpose does not shake. It is the bedrock upon which you build a resilient, virtuous existence. Technique 6. Practice negative visualization. The Stoics knew that what we fear most often has the power to control us. To break that chain, we turn fear into familiarity through premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of adversity. This is not an exercise in dread, but a rehearsal of resilience. In the quiet of your mind, intentionally conjure the worst that could happen in your interactions with toxic people. The scathing comment, the manipulative attempt, the sudden outburst designed to unnerve you. Picture the scene with vivid detail. Hear the tone harsh, mocking, dismissive. Feel the surge of irritation, the rapid thump of your heartbeat, the prickling heat in your face. Notice the instinct to lash out, the quickening of breath, the clench of your fists. Let every detail play out like a rehearsal on a stage. Then, once the scene is clear, step back and observe how your mind and body responded. Now guide yourself through the counterplay. See yourself pausing, drawing that deliberate breath, labeling the emotion. Watch your calm self step forward, grounded in reason. Envision gently reframing the insult as their insecurity. Feel the relief of setting boundaries, the firm but composed words protecting your dignity. Notice the ease of redirecting your focus to purpose. This mental practice transforms the unpredictable wild card of toxicity into a familiar script you have learned by heart. By repeatedly visualizing both the provocation and your composed response, you shield yourself from shock. When the real moment arrives, your mind no longer stumbles into panic. It recognizes the pattern and cues the practiced routine of Stoic composure. What once startled you now feels like déjà vu, a test you have already passed in imagination. Don't stop at a single scenario. Vary the rehearsals. Imagine a passive-aggressive co-worker, a guilt-tripping friend, a cynical stranger. Explore. Each narrative thread different venues, voices, variations of insult. With each run-through, you expand your mental library of responses. You discover unexpected strengths. Perhaps a particular calming phrase works better, or reframing with gratitude diffuses tension more quickly. Premeditation also prepares you for the unforeseen. In less controlled rehearsals, inject random twists. The insult comes at a moment you least expect, or a third party joins and escalates tension. Practice recovering your calm self when the scene diverges from the plan. This flexible rehearsal trains your mind to adapt without losing equilibrium. This isn't about living in fear, but about owning your power before the storm hits. Negative visualization primes your mind to see toxicity not as an avalanche you must weather, but as a wave you have already surfed. It brings surprise down to zero and magnifies your confidence. Every time you practice, you reinforce neural pathways of composure. Your brain learns that hostility is not an emergency, but a cue for disciplined action. With time, your imagination becomes your training ground, and real-life provocations become opportunities to demonstrate the skill you've honed. In the crucible of negative visualization, you forge a mental armor that no criticism can pierce. You convert anxiety into anticipation, dread into readiness. You meet the worst with a calm that astonishes even yourself. Technique 7. Redirect your focus to what matters. Every moment you spend entangled in a toxic person's drama is a moment stolen from your true aims. Toxic individuals prey on your attention. They craft distractions that tug at your mind, dragging you into debates that yield nothing but exhaustion. To maintain composure, you must master the art of redirection, consciously shifting your mental spotlight away from their noise and back to what truly matters in your life. First, identify your core values and aspiration. What do you stand for? What goals propel you forward every morning? It might be your commitment to growth in your career, the joy of nurturing relationships that uplift you, or the pursuit of personal excellence and well-being. Write these priorities down as clear affirmations. I choose growth over grievance. I invest in relationships that nourish my soul. I dedicate energy to purposeful work. Carry these affirmations with you, like a mental map guiding you back when you stray. When you sense the pull of toxicity, the scathing remark, the manipulative sidestep, the bait designed to elicit a reaction, pause and consult your internal manifesto. Feel the tug in your chest, then anchor yourself by recalling one of your affirmations. Repeat it silently with conviction. This ritual interrupts the toxic script before it can hijack your mind. Next, cultivate a set of constructive behaviors to redirect your focus. If negativity arises in a conversation, consciously initiate a question that centers on progress. What's our next step? Or how can we solve this challenge? Transform confrontation into collaboration by steering dialogue toward solutions. If a toxic comment lands in your inbox or phone, momentarily close the app and engage in a brief mindful practice. 5 deep breaths, a short walk, or a note of gratitude. These pauses rewire your instinctive reaction from escalation to equilibrium. Beyond immediate tactics, build long-term habits that anchor your attention. Begin and end each day by listing 3 things you are grateful for or proud of. This practice shifts focus onto positives you control, rather than fractures imposed by others. Schedule regular blocks of time for your highest priorities: creative projects, relationships, and self-care. When your calendar is full of meaningful engagements, there's simply no room for toxicity to linger. Imagine your attention as a theater stage. Toxic voices rush in like unruly performers, clamoring for the spotlight. You are the director with the power to dim their lights and bring on actors of your choosing. Your hopes, your passions, your virtues. Each time you look away from the toxic act and center your attention on a purposeful pursuit, you reinforce that you control the stage. Also, enlist allies in this redirection strategy. Share your goals with trusted friends, mentors, or colleagues, and ask them to remind you when you fall into negative spirals. Their external prompts can jolt you back to your path. When self-reminders fail, create a shared code word or gesture that signals it's time to pivot your focus. Finally, celebrate every successful redirection. Did you diffuse a tense exchange by refocusing on common objectives? Did you resist the urge to reply to a provocative message and choose self-care instead? Acknowledge this victory even if it's just a quiet nod to yourself. These small triumphs compound into a resilient mindset, where each moment of redirected attention is a brick in the fortress of your composure. By mastering the skill of redirecting your focus, you deny toxic individuals the oxygen of your attention. You reclaim each moment for what moves you forward, aligning every thought and action with your highest purposes. In doing so, you don't merely survive toxic encounters, you transform them into stepping stones toward your growth and fulfillment. Maintaining composure around toxic individuals is not a what-I'm victory, but a lifelong practice. The Stoic path demands vigilance, introspection, and a steadfast commitment to virtue. Like any craft, it requires daily honing, moments of success, and lessons from failure. But each step forward infuses your life with a profound sense of agency. No one can steal your peace without your consent. In the eye of the storm, calmness becomes your rebellion, integrity your banner, and resilience your shield. Toxic individuals may rage, but they cannot move the soul that stands firmly in reason. So stand tall, breathe deep, and let your composure shine. In mastering yourself, you transform adversity into opportunity, negativity into insight, and chaos into clarity. If this message resonates, take a moment right now to reflect. When was the last time someone's toxicity rattled you? How might you apply one Stoic technique to that situation? Write it down. Commit to at least one practice today, maybe a mindful pause, a reframing exercise, or setting a clear boundary. Share your experience in the comments below, and let's support each other on this journey to unshakable composure. Remember, composure isn't the absence of storms, it's the mastery of your mind amidst them. Let Stoic wisdom be the compass guiding you through every gale.